Thank you for staying with us here on iBrandTV. As we're winding down, the week is winding down as well. People that are having guilty conscience every time I call weekend. Now you Sabi. And of course, the beautiful, elegant, delectable, amazing Deborah have just joined us to give us all the gist as he de shelle on top social media. Hi Debbie, good morning.
Hi, good morning Uche. We should actually try to do social media boss in Pidgin. It would be really
one of these days we should do
yes,
that.
we should actually do it, you know. And then we know this month is actually the month for women, and on the 8th is actually International Women's Day. So yeah, we should actually try something on social media boss.
We should, right?
Yeah,
Speak
we're
Pidgin
kicking
all
Josh
through.
off. We're kicking him.
Bring another lady to join us,
Period.
so that we can, you know, do women supporting women.
Sharp.
Feminism at play.
All right, so I'm very sure that most of you actually who are watching us on YouTube cannot wait to actually hear your comments. But before we actually get to that, let's start with the first story, which is actually a very funny one. Now, following public outcry on alleged extortion through illegal and illicit transactions through P.O.S. machine operators with certain police operatives, the police headquarters reiterated that the ban on the use of POS machine and other electronic mobile money transaction device within police stations and other police facilities nationwide. A statement by Force Public Relations Officer ACP Muyiwa Adejobi, while making this known on Monday, warned that violators will face sanctions at police commands and formations, including the leadership at such formations. The IGP urges all officers and personnel to comply with these directives without exception, and warns that any police officer or POS operator found contravening this order or conniving to conduct illicit financial transaction will face appropriate disciplinary. Let's take a look at some of the reactions on social media. Now, the fact that trust Nigerians, all the reactions were really short. The first reaction said, so they agree now that bail is not and can never be free. The next reaction, transfer uncle. Since you're not going to collect POS, will you collect transfer? Another reaction, a way to steal without trace. And the final reaction, where will Nigeria get it? Perfect. Which, how do you react to this?
Okay, first of all, as somebody who has never had a police case, I cannot corroborate POS and electronic money transfers in police stations. But of course, I've heard such instances before. And even police checkpoints on the road, they'd be like, if there's no POS around, you can do transfer or follow you to an ATM machine. And
you will not do transfer.
It has actually happened to somebody that is very close to me. They took this young man to an ATM machine, and they first checked his balance. They first asked him to check his balance, and he did. And then they were like, okay, so this is what your balance is. This is what you're going to give us. And mind you, that money, as it is complete in his account, like that was money for his MSc school fees, and it was a very, very sad situation. And I really wish that when these types of statements come from places of authority, that we can hold it, that it holds water, that we can be sure that something will be done, that like it will be actually instilled into these people. But unfortunately, we are used to hearing talks and nothing done and no action. I won't be surprised if this dies with the day. As today ends, it will be the end. I won't be surprised, but I really hope that it can happen, because if it does, you'll be saving Nigerians trauma. You'll be saving Nigerians mental stress. You'll be saving Nigerians fear. It's a lot.
Okay, you don't catch the joke. They say you will not use POS. Don't be saying you're not going to do transfer.
That's what I'm saying now.
Do you get?
Yes.
Now, I feel like with the POS, actually, I think there are actually complaints now that they'll send money to the police. They come on social media to talk about it, and then they're like, okay, let's trace it. I think it's difficult to actually trace POS transactions.
Why? There's a
way to, I think, the merchant
code. Yeah.
I think there's a way, the way we use the OPay and Pound Pay as customers, different from the way merchants, use them. I've come to understand that.
Is that so?
Yes, it's totally different. Merchants are different from the normal customers. OPay deduct certain amount, they don't deduct certain amount from you. Do you understand? Yeah, so that's why that reaction said, okay, no POS.
Oh, what about
transfer uncle. So it's not solving the issue.
It still doesn't solve
exactly.
it.
Josh, how do you react to this?
Yeah, you can't cry more than the bereaved, because the fact that this information is out there means that they are aware, or reports have come in, you know, at different times, that this is what they do. If you get apprehended or molested by police, there's always a P.O.S, you know, operator somewhere where they go do this transaction, because you wouldn't pay into a police account for fear they may get traced. So we already know these things happen. And I think some months back, I saw a video on Instagram, a guy who has been fighting for social justice, especially with Nigerians who have had their monies, you know, exploited, or their monies collected from them due to certain issues like this, where police stops a vehicle coming, and the next thing, they move you to a place, and they notice that maybe perhaps you have a laptop in your car. They may suspect you are a Yahoo boy and all of that. Before you know it, monies have been transferred to an account that you do not know. And this guy has struggled to make sure that monies have been, you know, refunded back to the victims. So it shows you that they are aware these transactions are going on. And it's no surprise to me, because even at most checkpoints, they do these things. Once they flag you, you stop. The next thing is they put some sort of allegations on you and make you compromise. And the moment you compromise, there's a P.O.S somewhere that money will be deducted from. So it is a normal thing, and I'm not surprised they are saying now that no P.O.S operator should be found anywhere close to the police, because they know they do this transaction on a daily.
This issue is deeper than it is, than it looks. I mean, the place, I'm looking at the place of the P.O.S operator now. That person must definitely be getting a cut to want to agree.
It's business.
No, it's business.
Are you saying this for the first time?
I'm trying to look at the decadence, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the decadence in the society. It's easy to sit back and say, this administration is giving us only Abado and all that. But look at the role that you are playing to the suffering of a fellow citizen. And you know that this is what it is, and yet you agree to be a part of it.
Right.
It's very sad.
Anyways, let's move on from that story. The late former governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, that's Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, has knocked her husband's niece, Funke Akeredolu Aruna, for supporting the incumbent governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, ahead of the governorship election in the state. In a post on an Instagram page yesterday morning, Betty described Funke as shameless, adding that time will tell if she's truly lucky. The late governor's wife wrote, "Behold the face of Akiti's niece, Funke Akeredolu Aruna, the former deputy chief protocol to Akiti, shamelessly parades as, 'I am lucky, bloody serpent.' Time will tell if she is truly lucky." Let's take a look at some of the reactions on social media. The first reaction says, "So if you die, your niece should boldly align with your deputy in 'I am lucky' cap. So the death of her husband brought her luck. You all supporting the niece are mentally mad." Another reaction said, "This woman is an embarrassment. Was she expecting Akiti niece to pick up a fight with the current governor on what doesn't concern her? This woman is bitter and vindictive. She should be poached out of Ondo State totally." Another reaction said, "It's too fast for Funke to start such an outing. Her brother was buried a few days ago. Why the rush? She has tasted political power through the same man. Betty shouldn't have been the first person to groan about that if she was truly mourning her husband. But such is life." Another reaction, "What's wrong with this woman? Instead of her to retreat to a state of oblivion and mourn her husband in peace, seems she's more interested in politicking than making peace with her husband's people. I hope someone advised her to stop disrespecting the memory of her husband." Another reaction, "This woman is bitter. Is her husband planning to contest again from the grave? Life goes on, Betty. You haven't even finished the mourning period. You're already fighting people up and down." Which do you think it is right for Betty to have come out to write what she wrote on Instagram about the niece to the late Akeredolu?
I think you shouldn't bring your family problems to social media.
Okay.
And if you look at the drama that played out when late Governor Kayode was still sick and incapacitated, there was a lot of drama with whether Aiyedatiwa will be allowed to function in acting capacity, which actually is what the Nigerian constitution states. If your governor is not around for one reason or another, that is why there is a deputy. I never really understood, I mean, as at then, I never understood why Akeredolu of the time had issues with allowing Ayedatiwa to function in acting capacity. I mean, we saw situations of alleged falsification of governor's signature just to make it look like he was functioning from wherever he was. So I can understand where the bitterness and anger and back and forth is coming from. However, you are married to this family, so it is family business. If you had a problem with your husband's niece supporting Ayedatiwa, have the conversation in your house. Don't tell us about it. I also feel like the sister, I don't know what her reason is, but your brother just died. And this is a brother that you were very close to. You people worked together. At least show some respect to the dead. Until that her husband died, you said, calm down small too now. Wait till
Just how do you react?
The whole thing is looking so messy.
Yeah, it's just
very
so
messy,
very
you know.
somehow.
The both persons are very wrong. First, we already understood, given what you just said, we read about it and we discussed about it on this set where, you know, powers are very difficult to be transferred, especially when an individual who is the incumbent governor is incapacitated. By law, after 24 hours or 48 hours, as the case may be, if you are incapacitated, you should write to, you know, the legislature through the House of Assembly for powers to be transferred to the deputy so that governance can continue to have its way in the lives of the people. We never saw that happen. And that in itself had already created a crack in the wall in the relationship of these two persons. And who suffers when the elephant fights? The grass. So when we saw all of this happening, it's no surprise I'm seeing the, will I call it, resentment coming from the wife of the late governor. And of course, looking at it from the niece, she herself, she's also wrong. You just lost your brother. Is this the first time you're testing power? You've been in the corridor of power. So what is the issue about being so excited over what? You should be mourning. Likewise, a woman who also lost her husband. So why bring up this issue? Then if you have anything to sort out, do it privately. We don't need to know anything about it. So both of them are wrong.
I guess we're all on the same page in this. Let's move on to the next story. This is actually a very sad one. A travel vlog couple trying to visit every country in the world decided to go to India as their latest destination. 11 hours ago, they announced they were at the hospital because they had been beaten up. And the woman had been gang raped by 7 men. They were resting at a tourist market in Dumka on their way to Nepal when the attack happened. Now, Vicente had a knife held to his throat, that's the man, while Fernanda was assaulted. Let's take a look at the video.
Algo que no deseamos a nadie. Nos han asaltado en la tienda, nos han golpeado, nos han puesto un cuchillo en el cuello que me iban a matar. Fred y a Fernanda la han violado. 7 tíos, hijos de puta. Pues bueno, ya os contaremos más. Contaremos más. Vamos a ver qué tal. Estamos con la policía. Hemos ido a un hospital allí. Aquí en India. Hemos dormido en un hospital allí, nos han dejado dormir allí. Hemos metido la moto dentro del hospital y ahora nos han traído a unos 60 o 70 kilómetros a otra ciudad, a otro hospital para hacer las pruebas del ADN de Fernanda y todo.
The first reaction said she has been traveling for the past 5 years. She's visited 7 countries so far. She crossed Algeria, Iraq, Yemen, Pakistan, Turkey, Spain, and other countries with no major issues, but spent a few days in India and this happens. This country really is the worst place for a woman. Now, earlier it was women of our country and this time international tourists. I repeat, international guests, because these people come to spend money in this country. We should have protected them as guests. But no, we are not a safe country for anyone, be our own women or outside. Another reaction said, in India, women are constantly at risk and it is not advisable to go camping or sleep outside due to the high prevalence of sexual aggression and violence. This can be attributed to the societal perception of women as inferior in a patriarchal structure. Another reaction, I went to India backpacking. I got mugged twice for a bit of nothing. But I know if I was with a woman, those muggings would have been something else. I don't blame them for the caste system. There's a whole stratum of their population that needs to be kept in check. Another reaction said, I'm from that vicinity. I've lived my life around that area. The people The place is not a market. It's very remote, tribal, and dangerously infested by Maoist insurgency. No normal Indian would dare go there. This couple put a tent in forest and slept there. Which, how do you react to this?
I mean, I'm not surprised. There's been cases in the past of a lot of rape issues in India, and it's as a result of the type of their culture, the background, how they function as a people. India practices the case system. I think they are part of the very few parts of the world that still have that strongly as part of their system. And of course, it's a very masculine-dominated government that they have, a very what's the word, patriarchal system that they practice. And me saying I'm not surprised doesn't mean I support it. I'm saying this is something I have always known. It's just very unfortunate that in this 2024, with all the reforms that is going on in the world and the eye-opening engagements that are happening, girl child protection, boy child protection, India has not thought about it. I mean, you guys have a lot of great things going for you, tech-wise, technology-wise, Indian economy growing here and there and all, but you people have refused to just wake up from this dirty thing that is holding you back. It is so I cannot advise anybody to go to India, honestly, both male and female, because they will rape the both genders together. It doesn't matter to them. And I'm not joking. That's how it functions. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're vulnerable in India, you will be devoured and nothing will be done about it. Do you want to talk about the decadence and corruption in their policing system? It's a lot. It's a lot. And I feel very sorry for this couple. For people who visited over 50 countries, no hassles. I mean, even in countries that are war-torn, they've been there and nothing happened. But it had to happen in India. It's so sad.
Josh, how do you react to this?
I do not understand the laws of India, neither do I understand their culture and whatever it is that are norms in that particular country. But to hear this sort of news is devastating. And this is someone's sister, perhaps also someone's wife. And nobody in his right senses will hear such thing and feel okay. And for the fact that it's even making its way to social media, it will create a big stigma, especially.
What stigma could be greater than 7 men raping a woman?
I mean, you mean for the woman or for the country?
For the woman, of course, a bad light, especially for India. And I wonder who in his right senses would want to travel to India seeing this happen, especially when you're going on vacation. I mean, with this kind of news, you would have to boycott India, because this in itself doesn't speak well for the economy, and of course it tells you how low their laws are, especially with issues like this.
Well, I really don't know. Probably a Messiah have to come down to help the people of India, because even their entertainment industry, Bollywood, if any movie they release is speaking about the trauma that women face in the country, they are very loud about it, and it's actually really, really sad. One of the reactions actually said they moved away from their Indian women to international women. This is already out of hand. Yes. It's a thing already.
Like today, in the world of today, in some parts of India, women are not allowed to work.
Exactly. And somebody is getting raped at the moment. That's how bad it is.
This is even the one that made its way to the social media. How about the ones that are reported?
I must actually commend Fernanda and my husband, Fernanda and Vicente, for their courage. It takes lots of courage and guts for you to go through that trauma and still come on social media and say, this is what I went through. Nah, do you know what? 7 men. And they didn't exaggerate. And now they are coming to say, oh, only 3 out of 7 have been apprehended. Well, I really hope she, move past this. But you and I know it is very, very slow. Anyways, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Josh, Uche. All right, so let's discuss the intricacies of wedding planning. And I asked the question on Monday, who should provide more financially, the woman or the man? And funny enough, we actually had lots of response on social media, and I'm going to be taking the response one after the other before I start my debate. All right. The first reaction is from Samuel Ayede Films, and he said that it depends on how financially okay both families are. But then our advice as a man, in order to avoid shanking and see finish from your in-laws, try to foot the bill. Smart boy. Another reaction from AY Smooth 2402, and he said, who is a better planner? Let that person draw up the plan. Whoever is more financially endowed should fund it. You're smooth. You're going in the corners. Very smooth. Another reaction from official_Anu-Oluwaposimi, and he said the couple's approach to finance is crucial. I believe both partners should come to a mutual agreement and plan accordingly. However, in this cultural context, there's often an expectation for the groom to bear the financial responsibility.
Now you are married now.
Due to societal pressure and other factors. Nevertheless, I appeal to the bride's family to ease this burden for men. And to all grooms out there, may we never be put to shame.
Not before
I understand.
You will pay bride price.
Alright, finally we have a woman, and this is from Nwoye Wendy, and she said the major participant is the groom. The bride can support as she is the helpmate. Another one from Juicy Media Chick. My husband funded ours. However, modern times it's increasingly common for both partners and their families to contribute to the wedding expenses based on their means and traditions. I also strongly agree that the decision should be made collaboratively between the couple and their families, taking into account their financial situations and values. But for my husband and I, we would love our son-in-law to follow suit. Another reaction from Oluwa Bukola _documentary, and she said it's a 2-in-1 question. Question 1, who should bring in more funds? The partner that is more enriched, should bring in more funds. And question 2, who should fund the wedding? Marriage is a union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. Hence, both should fund their wedding. Of course, one will be more enriched than the other, but the funding should not be one-sided. They should fund their wedding. And the final reaction from Oladunjoye Vicky, and she said, I feel it depends on how understanding the couples are. Understanding again. The man should shoulder greater part of it, but as an understanding bride, support your man as it is for the two of you, then the both parents to have their part to pay. Drum rolls, everybody. Josh, how do you react?
Well, I hope they don't come for my head.
Okay.
Because someone has been doing But the truth has to be said. And I'll start by this.
Sharp.
Culture vary from country to country. So in cases,
we're Nigerians.
I'm coming.
Keep it here.
You have limited time. You have 5 minutes.
I'm
Keep
coming. Allow me land. Because even in the tweet, the reactions, people were trying to infuse some laces of culture from different countries to now buttress their point.
The same tweet that
just the way I saw someone saying that who is the better planner. Then someone is also saying that.
I think it has nothing to do with culture. It has to do with the individuals, the people involved.
I'm still going to infuse. I'm still going to infuse what I mean by cultures varying from culture. Some people are saying that, well, the bigger person is the groom. Some persons will say, okay, it's a union of two persons. If you know where I'm coming from, it's a union of two persons, so they should be able to do it together. But for me as an individual, looking at the country and the climate I find myself, the responsibility to a large extent falls on the shoulder of the groom, right? But it doesn't take away the place if, for instance, a woman decides to support to make the whole thing beautiful.
So in all,
so
you believe
in my
the
own
groom
stand,
should actually...
in my own stand, the groom should shoulder the responsibility, so that as one guy there said,
the Samson or Samuel Ayede
to remove see finish from your in-laws. That's how I put my point.
Uche, do you agree with him?
Is there a place they said that if you funds wedding, that the marriage will not stand?
Oh, is that where you're coming from now?
Yeah.
Okay, this is getting interesting.
Have you decided to tell my life? Chop not good.
Chop what? Tell your own.
Because if you do, I thought you were going to attack you guys. Uche.
Right, so then, let me ask you this question.
Please.
Please, where are the independent women in the house?
True.
So, if they said that somebody should sponsor the wedding, would the woman die?
It's not me.
Uche, like a reason like this.
Wait now.
Uche, you know serious.
Okay, so Uche, now you're saying there is no problem. So would you be comfortable that future husband comes tomorrow and decides to marry you? Would you be comfortable?
Is he me down to marry him? He's the person that is coming to come and knock in my father's
What is
door to
Uche
marry me.
saying? Uche, you see why I say we don't know where you
No,
stand.
I think I want to.
You are becoming a politician.
I'm telling you.
Understand?
I just
Very political.
I say if the woman fund wedding, we should that does not mean that I'm saying I'll
Okay,
fund
so what's
wedding,
your
no.
take now?
Good.
Who should actually, provide more financially?
The matter now is that because
Chai.
you get what I'm saying.
No, I didn't get.
Nah.
It is the
Tinubu economy.
in this of place that we are, our country,
Yes.
how our culture
Yeah.
is, the way the man handles the asking the lady's hand in marriage and getting her parents' attention and furthering it from there is an indication of how he's going to take care of the home, take care of the woman, and take care of, the people you're showing them, you're demonstrating to them how that you are a man completing yourself and you're able to take responsibility. That is one indication. However, I feel like I agree with that tweet that said if the woman is able to support.
Yeah, I think that's the major participant should be the groom.
Yes.
The bride can support.
At least the groom will take that
help
step
me.
first.
Yes, you should be able to, especially in the modern days, our generation where dating is a thing. You people have had time to talk about your marriage, talk about, and when I say marriage, I'm not even talking about the wedding, I'm talking
Future
about
plans.
eventually. So both of you know what you're getting yourself into. You know that whether the wedding is the major thing for you or not, and how much you spend on it, and if it's something you can afford alone or something that both of you need. Basically, do what works for both of you at the end of the day.
All right. But for me, Deborah is the groom would have to pay
fund
for
the
it.
wedding.
He has to fund for it.
Absolutely. Even
and
if
if
the
there is
lady will
anyone to
support?
even support, it should come from the family.
Family of who?
My family, but not from my money. You're coming to marry
So we
me.
have always known your stand.
Anyways,
So the man out there is listening.
before we actually call
But
it
you
a
need to be
wrap.
honest about this thing.
Yes, I'm very honest.
Whoever is
Yes.
will know what
Debbie,
You know what,
Debbie, can you say it again so that he could listen?
I
again?
would not fund my wedding. The man will fund the wedding, and if any support should come from my
Yes,
family,
my
from my
family.
father and my mother,
Established.
or my auntie and my sister.
Yeah, here it
Anyways,
is now.
before we call it a wrap on social media buzz today, there's actually a trending debate amongst netizens, and it goes thus. What is it that a side chick brings to the table that the wife cannot bring? Now, what actually, brought about these comments is actually the issue of the incessant cheating among married men in Lagos. So the question is, the question is, what is it that a side chick brings to the table that the wife cannot bring? Now, would actually love your comments the same way you dropped your comments on the intricacies of wedding planning. Drop your comments, and next episode of Social Media Buzz, we'll take your comments one after the other where I would dissect it. Yeah, so this is where I draw the curtain.
Okay, before you draw, it's my curtain now.
Okay.
I draw it back, I open it. Thank you, Debbie, for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it. The economy is biting hard. If you are able to support your spouse during planning the wedding, I'm talking to the ladies, if you're able to support your man, remember
I'm shaking my head.
Remember that you are, yes, because this is how you're going to keep supporting them.
Debbie has left that group.
If you're going to marry this person, no eat and no peace, that you're always going to be supporting here and there, except you want to be a shove hand, shove leg type of wife.
I want it bad.
I do not say anything is bad. If you marry an Odogu that is able to solve everything.
Of course, now that's the goal.
Why not? If not, but at the end of the day, even Odogu, they get issues sometimes, and you will need to support him.
Thank you for saying
So please,
that.
it's good that we keep that mindset. Okay, what What is it that side chick is to bring that the wife cannot bring? That's what we'll be talking about on Friday on social media. So please go ahead, drop your comments if you're streaming us live on YouTube right now, on Facebook, or wherever you're watching us from. We really appreciate your comments. Thank you once again, Debbie.
You're welcome.
For your time.
You're welcome.
This is where we end the midweek edition of iBrand Break. Hope you enjoyed it, because I did. We'll return tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the throwback edition. Until then, stay positive. My name is Uche Zoe.
And I'm Deborah Eze.
And I'm yours truly, Joshua Okata.